PlayStation subscription, we seen it. Times 2. Oh my god, Majora. Majora, I'm really about to just Oh, is he gonna make a Sonic model? You said it's 2 gigs actually? He's about to make a Sonic model. Let's go. People like this, like, how do you acquire this skill? Like drawing, I understand, because you could get a piece of paper and just practice. But do you just buy nonstop clay and then just keep on practicing with just clay? Do you just keep buying clay? Doesn't clay harden over time? Because they're good at it, tons of practice. This shit is so difficult because sometimes these people who make these clay models make them so damn close. I've seen some dudes on TikTok, like they would make people's faces, and it's so scary how good that they do it. Is Supersonic? Or is it Shadow? Super Shadow or Supersonic?
You got what I need, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of need, keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, love it, this devotion, give it up, sweet emotion, every time, every night, you and I count a roll, switch it up, where I'm going, stay on the fly, and I know the right way to go, I'm on the road, you stand up, taking control of my life, I want to run the red lights, I got to run this show, you always take me so high, you always make the highlights, I love the way we vibe out, you're like a centerfold.
You got some big ass shoes.
You got what I need, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of need, keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, love it, this devotion, that's good. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like another rock with you. I'm on the road, these nights, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe out, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that's good, sweet. You got what I need, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of
Well, fucking neutral. The music is driving me nuts, bro. I feel like I'm in fast motion. I'm just trying to see this shit get done. Mm. 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 Time to save all this for later. Okay. This is nice. Bro, what else is he doing? The bass? The hell is this? What is this, a OC? Hypersonic? Y'all just making shit up now. Y'all just making shit up. I've never heard of Hypersonic. I've never seen Hypersonic a singular time. That's like saying like Goku Super Saiyan 99 or some shit. Do you have any quotes I should use for my senior interview? Bitches is momentary. Anime is for life. That's it. Look at all this goddamn sunlight. I'm like, should I even be inside right now? Or should I, like, come on, bro?
Right now. I never had this feeling before.
You know, if you want to wrap up with Hypersonic, they're here.
Just maybe I'll go
if
outside
not,
today
ignore this dono.
enjoy myself.
I can't ignore the dono. Let me see.
Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles can very easily be played
All right. Sonic lore, because the chat loves Sonic lore.
as two separate games, and whether or not you play them apart or together, when it comes to playing as Sonic, there really isn't a whole lot that changes from zone to zone. But it's at the merger, where the adventure transfers from one game to the other, where we see a seemingly small change take place. But make no mistake, this is the single most important addition to the combined efforts of Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Just a little ways into Mushroom Hill Zone, Sonic will get to a ledge and look down to find a surprise. For the first time, he gets the drop on Knuckles, who is clearly sneaking out of a hidden area. What's that little scamp up to? If curiosity gets the better of you, head on into where the echidna just emerged to discover a giant ring. Now, we've seen plenty of these so far, but this one is bursting with all kinds of color. What makes this one so special? Well, easy enough to find out. You hop in, and instead of warping you directly to a special stage, you find yourself in an underground cave. The music takes on a mystical quality, and holy cow, that is one big rock! This is the Master Emerald. It's easy to forget now, but back in the day, this was a huge surprise, and the true turning point in the story that is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And it brings up so many questions. Why is Knuckles hiding a giant
Exactly, I was just about to say that. So what's Knuckles' purpose of just like keeping the rock to himself?
Is he planning on proposing? Girl, how could you say no to a rock like that? The boy is loaded. Sorry, got a little off track. These fanfics just write themselves sometimes, you know? Seriously though, why is he hiding a giant emerald? And why is he trying to nab Sonics when he has the grand poobah of them all in his basement? And actually, yeah, what does this thing mean for the normal Chaos Emeralds? There's gotta be some relation, right? Well, as it turns out, there is. In the presence of this giant gemstone, the Chaos Emeralds, which you had stolen from you at the start of the adventure and worked so hard to get back through those surreal special stages, fly away from Sonic, not knocked violently from your person, but instead floating freely, and Sonic just watches as these catalysts of chaotic energy synchronize just feet above his head. He doesn't make a move to grab him back. He's never been here before, and he's never seen the Master Emerald, but Sonic has seen this phenomenon happen one time before. At the end of Sonic 1, as the Hedgehog is making his victory lap back in Green Hill Zone, he stops and looks down at his gloved hands to see a white glow, and the Chaos Emeralds float away from him in the exact same pattern. They disappear in a brilliant flash, and Sonic looks on completely stunned. The land is not only free from Robotnik's influence, but new life has formed as well, as indicated with these giant flowers. With the help of the emeralds, Sonic not only saved the world, but left it better than when he first ran through the shuttle loops.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know anything. Everything that I'm hearing right now is brand new to me. I'm not that deep into the Sonic lore, especially the old games. Like Sonic 1, Sonic and Knuckles. I don't know shit about this. But this is good to know, though.
Of this iconic landscape. But there were only 6 emeralds when that happened. Why did they react that way back then? Was this the first time Sonic was tapping into their power without realizing it? I mean, look at his face. He clearly didn't expect this to happen. He doesn't truly understand the potential power of these things. But as the games carry on, that changes, as we can see with Super Sonic. And it all leads us to this moment. Here, in the secret chamber, the Chaos Emeralds react just as they did back in Sonic 1 and launch off, blasting back down in the flower pedestals surrounding the Master Emerald and forming into larger gems. Not quite as large as the Master Emerald, and also strangely gray and lifeless. Once control returns to the player, they quickly learn they cannot leave this area if they try to exit left or right from the screen. The only way out is to have Sonic leap on top of one of these gray slabs, and at that point, he will be transported away to the second set of special stages. Once cleared, Sonic leaves in a flash of light, and instead of the standard clear screen, we instead return to the mysterious cave, slowly panning down to the grayed out rock as a shimmering ring encases it, lighting it up with a single, peaceful. With the presence of the Master Emerald and the efforts of Sonic to finally stabilize these things, the name Chaos Emerald no longer applies, because said chaos has been quelled, and the energy distilled and focused, the gems take on their true form, the Super Emerald, leaving us to wonder, what will happen when all 7 are made whole again? As we return to Mushroom Hill, we are left with a renewed excitement and curiosity, eager to explore every nook and cranny in the zones ahead so we can see what other mysteries we can unlock about these multicolored magical rocks. And I cannot begin to tell you how brilliant this edition was.
This man, did he just draw himself like, is that Ben 10 or is that him as Ben 10?
You see, Mushroom Hill not only has to act as a starting point to get players used to the controls if they're playing SNK on their own, but it also has to serve the secondary function of acting as the halfway point for the complete Sonic 3 and Knuckles experience. And as you can imagine, the dip in difficulty can be a bit jarring, especially if you've been playing Sonic 3 and mastering the game well before Sonic and Knuckles came out. It's likely you already have Super Sonic and you could just blast through all these new zones with no problem. They needed to both keep the momentum going and somehow keep players from blasting through the second half of the game. And they tackle this in a couple of ways. First off, they remove the big arm battle in Sonic's story and instead transferred over to Knuckles, as his is a more challenging adventure, and this in turn smooths out some of the challenge in Sonic's story. But they also add that little cutscene with Sonic snooping on Knuckles, telegraphing to the player that something interesting is going on. Once Sonic relinquishes the emeralds, he in turn relinquishes his ability to go super. But that's okay, because now Mushroom Hill can get you accommodated to playing without the aid of your golden hairdo. So yeah, Mushroom Hill is easier than Launch Base Zone, but it's never boring, and it works so well as both a starter and midpoint. And really, the more I talk about it, the more I realize this level deserves way more credit than it gets. But whatever with all that, we need to get back to the Super Emeralds, or more specifically, what they unlock, Hypersonic. But you gotta wonder, what's there really left to do after Super Sonic? He's already super fast and invincible and oh my god, the colors. Sonic's new transformation isn't Saiyan Gold, but now brilliantly flashes all the colors of the emeralds in rapid succession. He also leaves an after image and has all these giant sparks of energy shooting off in every direction. And, oh man, sorry, I'm gonna dive deeper than necessary once again because Hypersonic is awesome, and I don't think people really talk about it outside of, well, it just looks cool. At least for me, the Hyper transformation matters most to Sonic. I mean, look at him. He is burst.
I was gonna ask that, so which one is better, Hypersonic or Supersonic? Because it seems like when he's Supersonic, he has the power of the Chaos Emeralds. But Hypersonic, didn't they just explain that he relinquished the power of the Chaos Emeralds? Hyper is better? Is Hyper better because maybe the Chaos is gone from the Emeralds and they are in their true form? And then the Emeralds being in their quote-unquote true form, it turns them into Hypersonic? He relinquishes it to make it stronger. Okay.
Bursting with power the other two can't even compare to. He's tapped into the power better than any other character, and yeah, part of that is because it's Sonic, and of course he gets the coolest stuff, but to me, Hypersonic represents a story of growth, overcoming weaknesses, going beyond what you thought was your best, and discovering your full potential was so much greater than you could have ever imagined. It's like Supersonic copied the Super Saiyan transformation, and Hypersonic copied all the things
Play
that made that
Freedom Planet
transformation
if you
matter
like
to begin
Sonic.
with. But let's be real,
Sequel
also looks so
just
sick.
got
When he
release
first got
date.
here, he had reached a newfound power. He was
Freedom
untouchable,
Planet?
except when he was touched in just
If
the right
Super
way and
is
loses
Super
it all the
Saiyan,
instant
then
he hits
Hyper
the
is Super
island.
Saiyan
Knuckles' arrival
3.
tells Sonic and the player,
Mm.
whatever you know, whatever cool abilities or powers you might have, doesn't matter. This is my home, these are my rules, and you are not ready. I can't stress it enough. Super Sonic is taken out, full stop, and the adventure has not even commenced. But instead of turning tail and hopping back into his plane, Sonic runs headfirst into a hostile and unfamiliar island. And along the way, he surpasses Knuckles in the one thing he should have a handle on better than anybody else. Without Sonic, maybe Robotnik wouldn't have attacked Angel Island. At least not at that point. But also
Thank you,
without
Owl,
Sonic,
for the
they
100
would have
bits.
never discovered the untapped potential
Thank you,
of the
Zach,
emeralds.
for the
And the
resub.
emeralds can't
With
reach
the
their
Prime
own
resub.
super
Thank
form
you, man.
without the assistance of our favorite animal men. It's a symbiotic relationship between the people of this world and these powerful gems. And while Knuckles handily demonstrates this, he's had an entire lifetime to form the bond between him and the Master Emerald. Sonic rolls in, and through his adventure, he unleashes the full power of the Chaos Emeralds and himself, and even takes down Knuckles without the assistance of any kind of transformation. I'd like to think that even though Sonic had unlocked all this power and surpassed not only his own abilities, but Knuckles as well, he harnessed the massive power of the Emeralds, as well as the Master
But when you turn into Hypersonic, is that just funky mode? Like, are you just invincible and you could just do whatever you want? You said ban star for a day. What did she say? She said, y'all ever watch Sonic porn on Discord? What's sad is that some people do it.
Emerald itself. He's harnessed all this chaotic energy, this power that's emitting off him in a violent fury.
He could fly.
Uses it to destroy the Death Egg once and for all, and save the home of the guy who had literally tried to kill him a few times. Despite a bruised ego, how can Knuckles not find some respect for this crazy hedgehog? Now, again, I'm probably looking way too deep into this, but
Is that what's going to be happening in the Sonic movie? Is that the plot of the Sonic movie? Sorry. People are doing repairs.
you know, that was kind of also the job of the comic writers who had to use these wordless cutscenes as a basis to tell their own stories. Am I saying I'd kill it if I made Sonic comics? Look, what I'm saying is, even if all this stuff is way more than what the developers intended, what they did give us was enough to be interpreted in such a cool way. And even if you took it at just face value, this transformation still mattered a lot to us fans. We worked our butts off to unlock this thing. We had Super Sonic relinquished from us twice. First forcefully, and then willingly when we realized, yeah, we can do just fine without them. And in turn, be rewarded with something even better when we were ready. I mean, the lock-on nonsense was the main selling point of Sonic and Knuckles. And outside of playing Knuckles in all of Sonic 2 and 3, this was the single most important change. So maybe you can understand why it riled up so many fans when Sonic Team said the combined adventure was not canon. I didn't even bat an eye when Disney announced that all of the expanded...
It's not canon? So what's the fucking point?
Star Wars universe was no longer canon, but when some slight gameplay tweaks are not considered part of the lore in a series where lore is largely inconsequential, I about lost my damn mind. I know all of this stuff is fake. Obviously it's fake. But when you combine Sonic 3 and Sonic
So it's
and
all
Knuckles,
fake.
you get the very best version of this game.
You say, yeah, Hypersonic has only appeared twice. So everything that he just told us in terms of like the Chaos Emeralds relinquishing their chaos and then becoming true emeralds, all that shit's fake. It never happened. So they're ultimately still Chaos Emeralds.
And you get the greatest game in the series. Sit down, Adventure 2 fans. And you guys are telling me it doesn't matter. The game was meant to be a combined experience. It's always been touted as such. And the ultimate reward, the ultimate journey, the one that made this game feel complete, doesn't matter. I know what some of you are going to say. Hypersonic doesn't exist in the modern Sonic timeline, but maybe it still exists in the classic timeline. Why is this so complicated? Like, I could do a whole video on this.
Plus, it's like, what's the point of even saying that it doesn't exist? I feel like it should, in a sense, exist just because you have regular long Sonic and then you have small chubby Sonic, right? Doesn't the small chubby Sonic like run through time and shit? You say it doesn't exist because of seizures. Probably. They don't want like a Sonic with like multiple colors popping up.
This topic alone, I don't have the temperament for it.
That's
So many
Generations?
fans are debating on if the classic and modern Sonics are two different characters, or the same one with a different art style, or time displaced, and that's not why they said the hyper forms aren't canon. It's much simpler than that. We already have Super Sonic. Like I explained with Mushroom Hill, it was probably only designed so you didn't super your way through the entire game, and could continue that giant ring hunting. And when it comes down to it, Super Emerald just doesn't sound as cool or iconic as Chaos Emerald. That's a staple of the series, you can't replace them, and you can't walk back on it either.
True.
With the Super Emeralds now involved, how can you ever go back to the Chaos Emeralds unless they just never existed? I will at least give them props for displaying the busted Super Emeralds in Mania, which can imply that the Hyperform was a one-time thing.
They displayed that in Mania? I've never seen this. So it's canon. That's
At
nuts.
least give them props for displaying the busted Super Emeralds in Mania, which can imply that the Hyperform was a one-time thing, but didn't the Emeralds transform to the Greystone first, so how... The problem with everything I said, the character arc, growth, all that crap, is that the series was not going to end here. Not with Sonic 3, it just wasn't. Ultimately, the problems of having this form exist causes in terms of telling new stories and making new games don't justify all the work it would require to figuring out how to walk it back. So instead, the hyperform just doesn't exist. I get why they did it, I'm just not happy about it. Because Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles
It's
are
not
better
that
together.
you didn't
They are
see
better
it.
than either
It's
game
that
alone.
you didn't
and even
have the
better than just
context
playing the
until
games
now.
one right after the other
Congrats,
separately. This is the
you're a
pinnacle
Sonic
of the classic
fan
series,
now.
and in my eyes and many others, the pinnacle of the series as a whole.
Thank you,
The
Owl.
folks running the show, the ones that can't keep the quality consistent through the series, are telling me the very best of it
So I'm a
doesn't
Sonic-
matter.
so I'm a
Making
Sonic
it
fan
a
now.
separate timeline just confuses things and further
You said, from what I remembered in a Sonic panel a few years ago, one of the main reasons why Hypersonic hasn't come back is because the creators don't want to make it seem like he's just copying Dragon Ball since it looks similar to some form Goku's gotten. Oh, there is a form that looks a little similar to... Oh. Man, fuck that shit, man. Release Hypersonic. That shit looks fire.
divides the fan base. And of course, the worst part for us dorks means Hypersonic will never appear in another game. We're never gonna get any dope official merch for this stuff, even though that'd make a sick nightlight. And it makes everything in this video entirely inconsequential. Maybe you didn't think about it as much as I did. Maybe you thought about it differently. But canon or not canon, Hypersonic is rad and a ton of fun for fans that still love the design. It doesn't take away what this game meant to us. How
It's
awesome it
dope.
felt the first time we unlocked this form. And of course, this is nowhere near the worst thing that's happened to the Sonic series. And ultimately, they can't even keep their own story straight. Don't try and pay attention, fans. Don't try and sort it out. You're just gonna get punished for it. And you know what? Maybe Hypersonic never mattered this much to begin with, but after watching this video, I hope you at least understand why it mattered so much to us. But that's just one part of the greater whole. Whole. Toot toot, Hypersonic warriors.
Good video. I did not know any of that. That was good. I did not know any of that.
So,